recorded. Sweet. All right. I guess I don't know. What do you want to call it? Let's call it the Cafecito series.
The cafecitos. Yeah, there you go.
Chill.
Big jug.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheerio.
Mm. All right. So, guys, if you're tuning in, don't know how to start this, don't know how to end it, don't know how it's going to end. But the reality is me and Edgar talk almost every day because he is a lender and I'm in real estate. So obviously we talk, our industries talk to each other all the time, every day. And I just wanted to, to put this on record to show you guys, because when we talk real. Like, okay, this is what I see, this is what's going on, and then how do you see it in your market too? Like yesterday we were talking about what's going on in the market of 300,000 and below. I mean, it's crazy. So the 300,000 and below, like we're seeing a lot of buyers paying for a lot of things that nobody's used to. And the funny thing is, I had a meeting with a title company guy that I've known for years, and he is not used to these fees also. Like when he does his preliminary closings, all his numbers are shifted on one side, obviously, and then he has to go back and move them to the other side. So it's like, so he's trying to figure that out too. But I remember talking to you in the beginning of the pandemic. It was, how can you remember that conversation? I know I recorded it, but can you remember how that one was going?
It was uncertain times, we didn't really know what was going to happen. We didn't know if people were going to keep shopping. And it ended up being the exact opposite, because the economy for some people was changing a lot. Some people were getting even more productive, bigger incomes. And then you had another part of the population that were losing their jobs, lowering their hours. And so that's what caused a huge uncertainty at the beginning. You didn't know what was going to happen. And it ended up splitting literally between two, just, haves and have-nots. And,
definitely. So, and now we're in this weird place where, these buyers are overpaying for these houses, unfortunately. And they don't realize what's going on, in the long run. They don't see the negative effect of that. And I don't want to, this is not a video for that.
You don't want to be a Debbie Downer.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. This is not that kind of video, but I just, that's what we're going through, and it's weird. And then not only that, in your industry, we were talking about how we're going through like these pre-approvals, pre-qual. What's the difference between the two? I mean, it's different.
So I'm gonna try to put it as simple as I can. Pre-qual is you're taking all the information verbally, and you're pulling a credit report, and you just take for word what the potential home buyer is telling you that is their information.
Right. And back in the day, that's what we used to use, right?
Yeah, I mean, long time ago, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So now what's going on? Now it's not pre-qual, now it's pre-approval, right?
Now it's, we really have to get pre-approved. Pre-approval is actually verifying everything you do tell your lender, your income, your credit, your assets, your debt obligations. You're verifying all of that information. You're not just taking anybody's word for it. And then there's some loan officers out there, such as myself, that take it one extra step forward, and that is to actually run it through an underwriter that tells you if your data that you're taking, meaning the documents, matches up with the underwriting decision, meaning that it's going to get fully approved. And to me, that's like gospel. I go by that. Make sure that the data is matching up, and that my underwriter is going to give me an approval, so that when we go into the real underwriting, well, they're both real, but actual in-person live underwriting, that they're going to agree with my decision for the pre-approval. So I'm usually comfortable at that point. So, but the pre-qual is still very important because it gives you a sense of where this customer is going. It gives you a direction.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah. And then the pre-qual and then the pre-approval. Now, this is a competitive market, a very competitive market. And then for
Yeah,
buyers to get these houses, they're we're trying to be, we're trying to be the best advisors as we can as realtors, and
of
then
course.
working with a lender. All obviously, that's the best
Yeah,
thing. Knowing a good lender and knowing who to go to and who to turn to tell you the truth. Like, hey, what's
right.
going on? Don't just tell me, we did this or we did that. But I saw something on the internet, and
Uh-oh.
you know, and I heard or I saw about waiving contingencies on loans on our offers.
Mhm.
That way you can get your buyer fully like approved or fully I forgot the term that the guy used on his
Fully
on
underwritten.
fully underrated, yeah. And then he
Fully
said
underwritten.
something about waiving the contingencies of the loan. Make sure your buyer is fully underwritten. That way you can waive it and you can just move forward with a contract. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? I'm like, isn't that what we're all doing anyway? But tell me the difference between what he was talking about.
So a fully underwritten file means that you're actually going to that live underwriter and they're actually giving you a full loan commitment saying that, yes, your customer is not just pre-qualified, pre-approved, uh, they are conditionally approved, meaning the lender has a full loan commitment. They have some items that they need to turn in, but they've actually been fully underwritten. So it's the next step after the pre-approval, which is a stronger approval because now you have a loan commitment.
Okay, so
The
you have a
contingencies.
no,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So yeah, you're seeing a lot of people or sellers or the market trying to be more competitive and waiving everything, inspection, appraisal, option. I mean, I think there's like everything is given away at this point because there's so much competition. So yeah.
Okay, so now let me ask you this. Now, on the realtor side, what we do usually, and this is almost usually, not always, but we put a contingency on there that we're going to get this buyer approved within 21 days. That's
Yeah.
usually what we put on there.
Yeah.
So the reason for that contingency is to make sure that the property appraises, the buyer can get approved, and a couple other things, but those two are the main things. If it appraises and the buyer can get
Right.
approved.
Yeah.
How long does it take to get appraisals nowadays?
Ooh, so we were doing fine before the market really turned up, but I'm noticing appraisals taking a little bit longer than what we're tolerating. Um, I'm seeing upwards of 2 weeks and even some 3 weeks. I have one in Bryan, Texas, that is really slow.
Okay.
And we've tried to even throw money at the situation and say, hey, we'll pay you a rush fee. They said, no, I don't even have capacity for doing those. And I'm saying, wow. So it's the appraisers are really overwhelmed.
So, in theory, worst case scenario, this property doesn't appraise. They don't have that contingency, in there. And the 21 days is typically about what you're telling me it takes to get the appraisal. So if you're waiving that contingency, that's a
That's a
situation.
gamble. It's a gamble, especially if it's conventional. But if you're FHA, you still have that protection of the appraisal if you don't waive that, right?
True.
I don't think FHA allows you to waive it. So you know,
Correct.
yeah. So it just depends on the financing that's
Okay.
involved, right?
All right. Now, I guess I like to keep these things short, and we're already at,
Mhm.
I don't know, a couple minutes. Anything else you want to throw in here while we're in this weird little situation, or this pre-approval kind of thing here?
So doing fully underwritten files without a contract is ideal. It sounds great,
Mhm.
but in theory, lenders, what they'll be doing is they'll be pulling resources, from people who actually have contracts, and that is yet to be seen how that's going to be affecting the lenders. Um, I have no idea. I'm thinking, the lenders, don't want to pull those resources. They want to give that priority to people who actually have contracts.
Right.
So, and we're already, I would say still at capacity. So I don't think every lender is going to be fully underwriting without a
Contract.
contract. Yeah,
Right.
I think it's just going to be very few of those out there. I am familiar with one that I was checking in with that is about to start doing that, but we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to get even harder, and now that we're going to approach the summer,
Mm-hmm.
the competition is going to get even tougher.
Man.
So yeah, I mean, get ready, man. Start conditioning, right? Get your
And
workout in.
and I tell
Drink your
everybody
coffee.
exactly. So if you're not working right now, into getting a contract or getting moving or even thinking about this, then in 3 months, you're not going to
Yeah,
have a closing. You're not going to be able to move because,
right.
it's going to take a while, to do all
Yeah, 90 days. I totally agree with you. 90 days. Whatever activities you're doing now, it will produce you in 90 days. So,
that. Yeah. Whether
hopefully
you're
you're doing something.
exactly consumer, realtor, whatever it is,
Yeah.
that's reality of what it is. All right. Well, Edgar, thank you so much. I'm going to put your information down here. I like to keep these short. We'll definitely
Thank you.
hit back, soon, and we'll have another one of these Cafecito series, man. Talk to you
Let's
soon.
do it. Cheers.
Cheers.